Hello and welcome to another episode of Ashaya Day Trip Productions. Today is actually the last day of February of 2026. This video is going to be a little bit more of around the house things I am trying and have been working on for a while to get complete. So, as you can see behind me, I got a ladder. I don't know. See, I kind of got pretty much all the painting I'm gonna do. As far as the walls are concerned, I gotta want to do some touch-ups because I got some paint that's kind of, if you can make it out, that got kind of up in the corner. So I want to kind of repaint the ceiling a little bit. I'm trying not to have to paint the whole thing, but I got a feeling that I might, just because this house was built in 2001, and it's the original paint. And I'm not quite sure what exactly what color it is. The first time I painted this room, I went ahead and tried to paint around just because of the mess that I had. Just things were getting up on the ceiling there. So I don't know if you can make it out. So I did actually kind of paint a little bit around the edges of the ceiling where it meets the wall with a white paint. So it's actually a little bit too white. So it looks kind of weird. So since I'm having to touch it up again, I'm going to try to see if I can match the color a little better. But being the fact that this house was built in 2001 as the original paint, not quite sure. I'm having a heck of a time trying to figure out exactly what works. Not quite sure. It's not a pure white per se. Might be an ivory. It might be a little dark in the ivory. It just depends on what light you're standing in and looking at the walls or the ceiling. Actually, the whole house was originally painted the same color ceilings, walls, and everything. So there's that I'm trying to get done. I'm kind of been obsessing about it a little bit, so I want to go ahead and gonna head into Lowe's and go ahead and pick out some paint. Not quite sure if I'm gonna get a quart or just go ahead and get a whole gallon and just call it good, because I do want to have to paint the bathrooms too, and it's gonna be the same color. So there's that. So it's actually a really nice day today. It's supposed to start raining today's Saturday, so starting tomorrow on into the week, it's supposed to rain pretty much every day, more or less. But I do want to certainly go ahead and at least get this room done so I can move on to other things. I also need to kind of get a new window blinds here, and probably try to get something for the that window up there, just kind of help keep the light out a little better, maybe hopefully keep it a little cooler in here during the summer months. So that's the game plan today, so let's roll. Alright, so here we are. So you got Sherwin-Williams, and you got Valspar. Valspar is actually a little cheaper, so I'm gonna head down here and check out what they got. Looking for something kind of like a off-white or beige or something like that. And I got quite a few choices. So got pinks and reds and orange and yellows and grays and browns, olives and seagrass and bamboo, green teal, blue, violet, iceberg and indigo, peacock and sapphire. And you got your basic neutrals down here, and you got your whites and more of your grays, more of your just average typical colors. Alright, so after much thought, I made my choice, so I got it getting ready now. Just gonna go ahead and just get a quart, try it out, see what I think, so hopefully that'll work. So I guess while waiting on that, I'll mosey on over and take a look, probably get another small paintbrush. Probably get something like this. Alright, so mission accomplished. So now I'm looking for the window stuff. Just in case you didn't know, they actually, Lowe's is now having like clothing and stuff out here. So if you need like some clothes, if you're browsing around Lowe's, there you go. So what I'm actually looking for now is the blinds. These are right here, just the curtain rods. Got some nice rugs on the other side. So they got some decent priced clearance items right here. Here's the blinds. Kind of like the cordless. These are real nice, you know, if you got kids or pets, you know, you don't want, you know, if you got a cat, you don't want them playing with the cords. Those are nice. And they've got about every size imaginable. Alright, so I'm also looking at the shades for the half moon or half sun window I have, and I found some right here where they keep the shades and blinds and all that. So there's like, you got either, they got like a paper options, which isn't really in the size that I want, but just to let you know, they got light filtering, they got room darkening, they got blackout, and these are like paper, so I don't really like the paper shades, because I don't know, to me they're just, especially in that spot I got up top there, the sun kind of hits it directly, so I want to have something that's a little bit more, I don't know, I always worry about something catching fire just because it gets so hot. And they got like a light filtering, and this is like, this one here is the arch shape, and it's going for $23.48 right now. And I think it's a 72 by 72, but it's kind that you can trim it to install it, and they get a QR code right there. You can scan it for tips on how to do it. Alright, so you know I had to do it. Just like I said, it's the last day of February. I just kind of want to step out into the garden area at Lowe's, just because it's such a nice day out, a little windy, but I kind of want to come out here and just take a look, see if they have anything out yet. And as you can see, they don't have too much out right now, but it is definitely early. But these right here, these are like dwarf Buford Harleys, and they got like junipers and Leland cypress trees. These are all evergreens. Looks like we got some pine. What are these? This here is a Austrian black pine. This right here is a spruce. That looks pretty neat. Weeping Norway spruce. That's going for $117. And they got some green mountain boxwoods out. Some small hollies. These are really nice. The winter gem boxwoods, these are like really good. They're going for $10.98. It's cute. It's artificial grass. Now I'm back home after making a somewhat quick stop by Lowe's in Rogers, Arkansas. Wanted to go ahead and pick up some paint so I could kind of try to finish this room up. Hopefully I can get that done sooner than later. So I went ahead and after kind of walking around, looking at the different colors there, went ahead and picked out this Dover white. So I figured I'll give that a shot. Now, kind of looking at, how they do, how they kind of just put like the color on top of the can there. And I almost think that's probably going to be still a tad too light. But you know what, at this point, I'm just going to kind of roll with it, just kind of go ahead and use it. Tired of worrying about it. But also this here, I just went ahead and just got a quart, just, basically just to test it out and see how it does. And I believe a quart, I'm going to have to go back and look at this because I don't have the receipt with me right at the moment. But I do believe this I went around $22 or so. I just used the Valspar Signature series. This is actually a flat. I just use flat, just your basic latex paint just because it's easier for me to clean up. Oil-based I don't really use too often, but there you go on that. So now I'm standing up here on the ladder and I just kind of want to point a thing out about these walls. As you can see, it is like textured, like very textured, and the ceiling is the same way. So when I go to paint, I have all kinds of issues because, I don't know if you can make it out if it translates on camera or not, but around this area here, you can see kind of like white spots from the paint underneath kind of showing through. So I think I really don't like these walls, and I'm just saying this right here just because I want to vent for a moment. I just don't understand why they did all that. I mean, I get, that it covers like, if you go to spackle, cover holes or what have you, it's good for that. But me personally, I think it's just overkill. I don't like these walls at all just because it's so hard to paint. And the first time I painted this wall, or these walls, I think I used 2 coats, or at least 2 gallons of paint alone in this room, and you still get the white spots showing through. So it really kind of irks me a little bit. Like you see like a big one right there. Anyway, so what I'm gonna do now, probably gonna go ahead and get started on doing a little bit of painting. Just kind of hopefully touch this up a little bit. And as you can see, I got kind of like, there's really kind of like the greens kind of going all the way up along the where the wall goes to the ceiling. There's a few spots probably back this way that are worse than others. So that's kind of the plan for today. I just want to kind of do a little bit of a home vlog. I'll probably got some other things I gotta do around the house. So let's get painting. what I'm doing right now is I'm just trying to get everything kind of prepped, kind of moving the old paint stuff out of the way and kind of bring in the new. So I always like to keep paper shop towels on hand. Just help me for like an easy cleanup. And of course, I bought these two. These are like the just a trim painter, and I thought maybe I could kind of use this, maybe just kind of get around in the corners a little bit. But I also want to say just real quick too that I have plenty of the green paint left because I want to get this painted, and then anything that spills onto the walls, I can go ahead and just kind of paint over. So the paint, actually the gown that I bought, the Signature, Low Signature brand, was actually $45, so it's not cheap. So I want to make sure that I use it, and I want to make sure that I use it sooner than later, because not that it's going to go bad anytime soon, but I've had it probably for about 3-4 weeks right now, so I need to kind of go ahead and wrap this up in this room. So this is why I'm doing the home vlog, I guess if you want to call it that, today. You have to excuse me, the sun's like really bright through that window, and it is blinding me. But also, I did actually get some of this stuff here, Goof Off. So I bought this, one thing about this room I had, because this is where I keep my office, and also where I like to listen to music and stuff. And if you can hear me right now, you can kind of hear how it kind of echoes a lot. It's pretty much a square room, of course it doesn't have anything in it right now, and it's tile floor. So I put up, the sound dampening stuff, you stick it to the wall, it has that tape on it. So when I decided to repaint this room, of course I had to take all this stuff off, and I was like scraping and all that stuff. So got that done, it's over with. However, I still got to do the windows, because these windows get really drafty, or they're basically, they need to be replaced. But I'm not going to be doing that, so I just had put up like that film you could put up your windows to keep keep the heat in, maybe keep the heat out during the summertime. So I had that up, and so there's like sticky stuff on the windows, because I had to kind of like use the tape or tape it up just to keep it up. So I bought this here in hopes that it will work and do the job. So stay tuned for that. I will let you know. I'm probably not going to do this in this video, but I will let you know if it's good or not. So in case you have like an issue that you might need this for. Basically, I was going to get on the the plastic stuff on the windows, not actually the glass itself, but just the plastic around the windows and all that. So we'll see how that works out. So I think what I'm going to do is, of course, I'm still trying to get prepped a little bit. Of course, I had to change my clothes, because I don't want to wear good clothes when painting. I think I'm going to start with this corner over here, just because that's where the most error I had, with paint getting on the ceiling and all that. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of that. But if you have walls like this, and I think this would be really cool, I almost think it'd be easier, not that it'd be cheap or anything, but maybe if you can get like crown molding kind of put around, so that way, when you need to go paint, you got that separation there, kind of help you, make less of a mess, make it a little easier in the long run. But that's not what I got, so I'm just going to kind of work it the best I can, and hopefully this color will be okay. I got a feeling it might still be a tad too light. So of course, you're going to want your paint can opener thing, what they call it. I kind of open this up and kind of see what we're dealing with here. I think I need to have something to put this on. Since I just got this paint, it should be pretty well mixed, so it should be good to go. So just to kind of show you what color it is. I got paint on my hands already. This is the color that I'm dealing with. Just kind of looking at it. Actually, it might be pretty close. Well, it might actually work out pretty good. Hopefully, anyway. So, also, I'm gonna get this thing off my hands. Also, just gotta show you this real quick. I like using the paint tray liners instead of using the actual paint tray itself, just because it's just, you know, once you're done, you just take this off and just throw it away. And especially in my case, because I've been using the same paint liner, because it's all one color, the green here, so I've used that pretty much all the way through this paint job. So I think what I'll do, you know, with the white is just kind of just keep using this, you know, and just hopefully make it a little easier to clean up. But I think what I'm going to do in this case, since we're just going to kind of try it out, just kind of see what it's looking like, just kind of hopefully that'll work out pretty good. I think I'm just going to just go ahead and put that little quart and just kind of put it on the tray there on the ladder and just kind of go up that way. It's going to kind of bring this camera over a little bit, just kind of show you kind of a close-up view of my part right there that I really probably messed up the worst. Is just kind of over here in this corner by the door. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that. This is interesting right here. I'm going to turn this camera on around so I can kind of show you what I am looking at there. Looks like there's some kind of, I don't know why the paint's like chipping right there. So I got a couple of spots right there. Probably, I don't know what's causing that, so I'm going to have to kind of investigate that a little further. I'm probably going to have to, I don't know, now I'm going to paint over it, but I don't know how, you know, if that's something I need to, I really, honestly, I don't know what I'm going to do actually, but, so I have to, I haven't really messed with it yet just because, you know, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do to fix that. Of course, you can see down over here, corner over here, I got quite a bit of paint. And you can see the white streak running along. That's because I have some white paint I just tried to put up there, but obviously it's just too white. Not too bad around the curtains and all that. Matter of fact, I'll probably wait till tomorrow to do this other side because I'm going to have to take the curtains down. It's a little late in the day, so I probably won't want to do that right now. Take this up over here and carefully put it on the my ladder. And I think what I'm going to do in this case is just I'm going to go ahead and just use one of my paintbrushes I already have. I'm not going to really want to mess with the small little trim painter stuff right now. Step up here to kind of see what we got. And I didn't stir this paint any because I thought, you know, I just bought it, so I think it's pretty good to go right now. Well, it's definitely not still not the an exact match. It's kind of hard to tell right now, but you know it'll work. It'll do the job. Is that spot? That I don't know how I'm gonna fix that. Huh. I think what I'll do, I'll probably just go ahead and just paint over that. I'm not sure what that is exactly, but I don't know. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just kind of paint this little section, just kind of show you what it's looking like. And this paint I'm using, this is just basic, see I already made a mess. It's just basic, you know, latex paint. It's not sealing paint or anything like that. So I got to walk over here and get one of these. I'm not going to worry too hard if I get like a little bit of white paint kind of close to the edge. I don't think that's going to really make or break the situation. it's just really so hard to paint when the wall's this textured, so it's kind of a challenge to say the least. Now, let me also say this when I'm thinking about it. I am by no means an expert on this. This is just something, we all, if you own a home, rent even, really, sometimes you gotta paint. So, kind of just want to put out there just a little bit of what I do. I don't get carried away with it. Not a professional, and also be honest, I don't have that kind of patience. So, just kind of, you just do the best you can. You go sell some, God knows you're gonna want to paint it something different anyway. So, probably just as well not to get too carried away. And also too, actually took this can off of the ladder when I moved the ladder, so that way it doesn't spill everywhere. Because that would suck. So if you're watching this video and if you know anything about painting, the best way to paint a room, especially something that's textured walls like this, leave a comment. Like I said, I'm not a professional, but I am curious to know. If you've had experience painting these type of walls, or if you're a professional, house painter or whatever, feel free to leave a comment. Just kind of leave your thoughts. The best way to handle this. I certainly would like to know myself because I got a lot more painting I got to do in the house. But I think the rest of the house is pretty much just going to be all one color as far as, the ceilings and the floors, or the ceiling and the walls are going to be the same white color. So don't expect too many issues on that. But when you use, paint that has color to it, it's just easy for it to get kind of, on stuff you don't really want it on. I know I've tried to use tape, the blue tape that you put on to kind of keep the paint off of it. Well, it just kind of bled through it and just got on the walls anyway. And I don't know, because these walls are so textured, if the tape doesn't really stick like it should, so there might be gaps in between it, so that way the paint gets in it. So that's why I don't do that. It's just I didn't figure, go through all that trouble and not be worth it. So yeah, if you got any ideas on the best way to paint a room like this, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. I'm kind of curious to know what you think. So I'm trying to figure out for the life of me exactly what's going on here. So if anybody has any idea what that is, what's going on there, you can please leave a comment in the comment section. Got that there. Then the other one was down, but I kind of huh. Interesting. Alright, so this is what I got going on thus far. Honestly, I'm not really loving it. The white paint, because I'm trying to get up in those little crannies right there. And, yeah, it's like, I almost rather have the green kind of on the ceiling a little bit than that white kind of right there like that. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and bust out with a paint roller, and I'm just going to kind of use the rest of the paint I have in my tray. And just kind of utilize that and use up all that paint. The color looks good, it's a little whiter than the original color. Of course, it might just be that the original color is so old, maybe it just faded, no big deal. So I think I'm going to go ahead and you're probably going to have to paint the ceiling a little bit, which I wasn't really planning on doing. I really don't want to do, but I think all things considering, just to get this done, that's what I am going to do. So I put my hat on because I got a feeling that I'm going to get a little bit of paint on me. When you paint the ceiling, I already get kind of like a crick in my neck and my shoulder just from constantly looking up at the ceiling trying to paint. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna go ahead and finish that part up for tonight. And I got a feeling we're probably just gonna kind of continue this in another video. Just kind of show you what it looks like once it's done. As I said, if you got any ideas of what would work in a case like this when the wall's so textured, I know the best way, if you could just take a sprayer and just spray it, of course, that would be the best way, but it's not the most practical way, if you're living in the house. So if you got any ideas, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. And also, please subscribe. There's going to be more to come as far as the house, because, it's just something I got to do and I need to get done. So look forward to that. And also, it's getting to be springtime here in a couple of weeks. So I got one trip planned out of state so far for the summer. So that's going to do it all for me today. Until next time, bye.